Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. I'm your host, Martel Llewellyn. Guys, today we have another stacked up panel. We have Davey and we have Joe from Refuse to Lose, and then you also have Davey from Davey's Doghouse, and then you also have B. Lee and Ajani from Goat James Kingdom. We have another debate on Kobe, LeBron, Bronny, the whole works. First of all, guys, thank you guys for coming on the show. I do appreciate it. Dave and Joe, do you guys just want to let the people know just about your channel real quick before we begin?
Okay. Yeah, so we both are co-hosts for the Refuse to Lose show. We basically treat it like a debate platforms, kind of sort of like First Take or Undisputed. We It's not just a show though; it's a network. We have a plethora of shows that's within the R2L network. And Joe actually is a part of three shows, including the main show. So the only other show that I do is Dave's Doghouse that you mentioned, and you got your wish this time. Zion Wilson is in the doghouse. So if you have not watched the last episode, he is in the
Thank God.
doghouse. But I basically do the highlights and lowlights of anyone that is involved in sports.
Thank you. And then B. Lee, can you tell the people about Go
What's
James?
good? What's good? What's good, everybody? So, I'm not, well, most people know our channel is about LeBron James, basically, but we do go over all current NBA players and heated debates about everything. Even me and Ajani go back and forth about certain NBA players, but if we get challenged to the GOAT debate, we are always up for the challenge. And that's what we about to do today.
There you go. So we'll get right into it. So B. Lee, do you think that there's a lot of people that overblow the 2011 finals because, when people talk about LeBron James, that's like the first thing that they always say, he had 8 points one game that he got outplayed by JJ Barea. So how do you feel about just people saying that, that was one of his biggest failures? Do you think that it's kind of overblown? Where do you stand on the 2011 finals when you look at LeBron James?
Um, I don't really pay too much attention to it. Most people who say JJ Barea outplayed LeBron James didn't even watch the series. JJ averaged like 8 points a game, so they didn't really watch that series. And LeBron James, he played all right. He didn't play great in that series. That's the only thing that they have to actually look on with LeBron James, because they try to discredit the rest of his career by only looking at 2011. So if you want to discredit LeBron for everything he's going to do, that's the only real thing you can look at, is that he didn't play well in that finals, and he lost in that finals. And besides 2011, it's just the finals losses, which in reality is not a negative thing. But when you don't have anything else to use, you're just going to go to those things.
Now, Joe, how do you feel about 2011? And then we'll go to David and Johnny.
You asked me?
Yeah. So how do you feel about 2011? Like, is that overblown? Like, where do you stand? Like, because there's a lot of people, once again, they'll talk about all the different role players. They'll talk about, not one, not two, not three, not four. So where do you stand with that?
I do think that LeBron definitely we're talking about LeBron James only, he definitely underperformed, underachieved that series. And the reason why, because we're comparing them to being a GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, people were saying that he's the greatest of all time. And to have a failure like that, and it's not the fact that he lost, because you're going to lose some. You're going to lose some series, you're going to lose some games. We want to see, how did you go out in the loss? And the way he went out in the loss, he wasn't aggressive. And I felt like when you're a two-time MVP at the time, when you go to Miami and the expectations is to win a championship, like my man said on the top right, he said, we all fell for the one, not one, not two. I ain't even talking about that. The fact that they were the prohibitive favorite to win that series, and Dirk Nowitzki, the only solely all-star on that team, to lose up 2-1 to that team, and LeBron James down the stretch of that series and the way he performed, yes, he definitely underachieved in that series. And it's a black mark on his resume. It really is. So, but it happened.
Davey?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can really add to what Joe just said, but it's definitely an underachievement. I wouldn't say that he played like his absolute worst out of his entire career. But when it comes to, you're talking about his finals career, that was definitely his worst performance in his finals career. Um, if you look at how how that season went. You know, how in the beginning of the season, you know, it was rocky. They couldn't figure things out. Then they finally figured it out. And then you look throughout the series, even when things were going well throughout the series, LeBron James still played his part. Even if Dwayne Wade was the leading scorer, LeBron James still was at least scoring 24, 25 points a game. And then when it gets to the big stage is when everything goes down. And it's not to say that LeBron wasn't necessarily doing like playmaking because he was passing the ball around, he was getting rebounds. But the biggest thing that was missing was his scoring and, you know, him not being a part of the offense on multiple occasions. Like you would see him at the 3-point line, just standing around, not really doing much, moving around without the ball. So a lot of that was a part of the issue. And when people talk about JJ Barea and Jason Terry playing better than LeBron, you can understand it because if you look at their standards compared to what LeBron is, LeBron played under his standards and they play over their standards. So that's where I understand it.
Unmute yourself, Martel.
Go ahead, Ajani.
Yeah, completely overblown. It's basically a Skip Bayless tactic by people who don't know how to appreciate greatness. LeBron's so great that they got to try to find flaws, as if no one has flaws, no one has failures. They try to make all these silly narratives and excuses for other players when it comes to their failures and when they fail. The 2011 finals is actually, like I said, it's an overachievement. The Miami Heat shouldn't even been in the NBA finals in the first place. The idea that LeBron James is supposed to, I guess, outscore everybody every series for some reason. Michael Jordan fans feel like that's the way you win. As Joe stated, it's the way you go out. And at the end of the day, what are you saying? And stats go over winning? I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to win a basketball game. They were trying to win that series. The game plan put into place for LeBron James to help the Miami Heat win that series wasn't good enough. It wasn't smart enough to win the series. Had nothing to do with LeBron James. At the end of the day, that's not even his worst playoff series as well. At the end of the day, that is just an overblown way to ignore LeBron's greatness, because every player in NBA history has failed, and there's plenty that has failed worse than LeBron James, including those in the GOAT debate. So all this idea that somehow the GOAT debate separates you from everything else as far as being great is nonsense. The GOAT debate is about being great. So it's the same thing for everybody else. It falls in line for everybody else. And trust me, there are a lot of players, including Michael Jordan, who has failed and underperformed, and their team was costed a victory because of their performance, if they want to do that with LeBron James. So it's just ignorance from people who don't know basketball history. And because we witnessed 2011 more than we witnessed any other sports time prior to that, because people, again, a lot of us are in our early 30s, late 30s, early 40s. Y'all don't remember stuff 25, 30 years ago, man. 2011 is the only thing they have. It's an overblown. It's not even that serious. Again, they overachieved. They shouldn't even been in the NBA Finals. And they actually had a chance to win the NBA Finals. That would have been one of the most greatest accomplishments of all time if the 2011 Heat actually won an NBA championship.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if that wasn't his worst series, what was then?
He's had worse series as far as shooting wise and things of that nature. I would say LeBron James's worst series, it would have to be the 2007 NBA Finals.
So, okay. So you're telling me that two of his worst series in his playoff career were both in the NBA Finals?
Two of the worst? I didn't say 2011 was one of his worst series. I said that the 2007 was his worst. You keep calling it the worst series. I don't think it was a bad series.
Give me a series that wasn't in the finals. Give me a series that was not in the finals that was worse than 2011.
Then 2011, that was not in the finals.
I got time.
No, I got to calculate this. Like I said, I remember everything. I don't remember LeBron James's.
Because you said things like, we don't know history. I remember all the series. LeBron always plays great in series. His only two bad series was 2007, like you mentioned, and 2011. Outside of that, he went crazy in losses and wins. When he lost to Orlando, he went crazy. When he lost to the Celtics, he went crazy. When he lost to Golden State every time, he went crazy. But when he lost to the Miami, we lost to the Dallas Mavericks, we lost to the Spurs. He almost averaged a triple-double. He had lost to the Spurs that last time. But when he lost to the Dallas Mavericks, and the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs, I understand, he was young. But he was a two-time MVP against the Mavericks with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. If Miami Heat would have won that series, he wouldn't even been the Finals MVP. And the fact that you said guys like Jordan also underachieved, you tell me the series when Jordan lost and there was another guy on this team that would have been the best player based on their performance. I'm waiting.
Okay, see, that's what you guys love to do. This is what you guys love to do. So Jordan, because you're gonna say Jordan didn't what get outscored, so he never got outperformed. Is that what we're saying?
I'm talking about period. I'm talking about not just scoring. Give me a series when Jordan lost, when he was not the best player in that series.
1988.
1988.
Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, listen, dude. I'm talking about. I said on his team. Dwayne Wade was the best player in Miami.
Again, Dwayne Wade was there to do exactly what. I'll wait. You go ahead. No, you got a lot to say.
Go ahead.
Again, Dwayne Wade is there to do exactly what he was meant to do. LeBron James isn't Michael Jordan. He doesn't feel he's the only player on his team that can score. He has a Dwayne Wade. It is nothing to allow Dwayne Wade to be Dwayne Wade. In fact, that's why Jordan would have never won in 2011, because he would have never let Dwayne Wade be Dwayne Wade. Michael Jordan never felt anyone else could score the basketball the way he could, even though there were players more efficient than Jordan, even more smarter than Jordan in taking shots. Jordan didn't care. Jordan was going for scoring titles. He wanted to score 30 points per game no matter what. So this idea that we're going to judge players off of how Jordan wants to play the game of basketball is why you guys will be exposed tonight. Jordan's style of basketball is not winning basketball. He only won because he had a Scottie Pippen who was eligible to get his other teammates involved so that the Bulls can be an actual championship contending team. LeBron James did the same thing in 2011. He joined the Heat to have help. Now you're saying he shouldn't allow the help to help. That's what Dwayne Wade was there to do. It was his job to close out those finals. He didn't do it. The Heat did not have enough to do it. That's why they chose Dwayne Wade, because it was easier for Dwayne Wade to score on Deshaun Stevenson and Jason Kidd than it is for LeBron James to score on Tyson Chandler and what's his name? And Shawn Marion. You guys have to understand there is a strategic way of playing the game of basketball. Coaches and teams come up with strategies game in and game out. They watch film. The film said LeBron needed to be the facilitator because you're not going to let Chalmers do it. So what you want, who are you going to want to facilitate? Let me ask you that, Joe. You rather Dwayne Wade facilitate so LeBron can get you 26, or let LeBron facilitate and let Dwayne Wade get you 26?
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
Last question. What happened in the other series leading up to this? Wasn't LeBron still assisting the ball and rebounding and playmaking like he normally does? Before he got to the 2011 final, and he still averaged over 24, 25 points per game.
Against Boston, Dwayne Wade led the Heat in scoring, and they beat
You're
Boston.
Not answering my question.
I am answering. Let me answer your question.
About LeBron James, not Dwayne Wade.
But again,
because of Dwayne Wade.
Wait. This is because of the Dwayne Wade discussion. Joe asked me a question regarding somebody letting their teammate outplay them. You guys think because Dwayne Wade scored 26 points that he outplayed LeBron James when LeBron James did more than Dwayne Wade outside of scoring. Because the game of basketball is predicated on more than just scoring. Jordan fans only know about scoring because that's all Jordan could actually do. So when you're asking me, you're asking me
Jordan fans. So let's cut that.
Well, first of all, this is one thing y'all gonna have to do today. Take one for the team. We take one for the team here because we're team players here. We basketball fans. If you're a real basketball fan, you should have no problem taking one for the team. So you're gonna take one for the team today, Dave. I'm sorry. So this is how it's gonna work. You asked me a question about the other series. LeBron James was also being the facilitator, but he was also eligible to score because those other teams didn't have the same strategy Dallas had, or the roster that Dallas had, and the rotation that Dallas had. Those other teams wasn't saying let Chalmers shoot. Those other teams wasn't saying let Haslam shoot. Those other teams wasn't saying leave Joel Anthony open. They weren't doing those things. Those other teams were trying other things to stop the Heat, and the Heat was just able to roll. That's why when they got to the finals, they thought they were just going to sweep everything because they couldn't believe how Boston and Chicago played them, and they were able to roll right through.
Can I ask you a question? In the Eastern Conference Finals, who did Miami Heat play?
The Boston,
Chicago
no, not
Bulls.
Boston,
The
Chicago
Chicago
Bulls.
Bulls.
The
Bulls.
Bulls. The
Yeah,
Who
the
Bulls.
was
Bulls.
the leading scorer in the Miami Heat in that series?
LeBron James.
It's
Who
probably
was the
LeBron.
leading rebounder in that series?
Who was what?
Leading rebounder on their team? LeBron James.
LeBron
Who was the
James.
leading assist guy? LeBron James. So this is
LeBron
what I'm
James.
saying. If you are the GOAT
Mm-hmm.
and you go to the NBA Finals, we talking about the end of the road. You win this
I mean,
series, you holding a trophy.
for one thing, you're talking about LeBron at 26 on Dwayne Wade team. Dwayne
No,
Wade did not want LeBron James to get that
nothing.
MVP. That's simple as that. Dwayne
What?
Wade said in the post game he know how to beat this team. He beat him before, and his team is going to follow him. Dwayne
So
Wade wanted that MVP, so the game plan was to replicate what Dwayne Wade did in 2006.
did Dwayne
That's
Wade
what they did.
also tell did Dwayne Wade also tell LeBron that he need to stop being too passive and be him?
That's
Did he tell
exactly what he
LeBron that?
said. That's
No,
exactly
Did
what
he
he
you,
said.
not tell
No,
LeBron
he
Humble.
didn't
that
say
he's
that.
too?
He did not say that.
this is simple. This is simple. If you game plan to have one player do something, and you have another player who's that high of a caliber, you're going to take him out of the game. Simple as
So,
that.
so I'm basically hearing you're saying that D Wade sabotaged LeBron James 2011.
He didn't
That's what I just heard you
sabotage him.
say.
Dwayne
Where
Wade
did you
was the
get that
main.
from?
He
Dwayne
just
was the
said that he
main
didn't
player.
want LeBron win an MVP. Isn't that what you just said?
He did
He's
although he that's what he said. He thought he was going to replicate what he did in 2006. And Dwayne Wade figured out that he couldn't do that after the series.
that what Brandon is
You can't
talking
make this
about.
up.
If oh wait, what, no, we're not. What Brandon is talking about is that after Game 2, when Miami coughed up Game 2, that we had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter against Dallas. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James got into a little scuffle in that fourth quarter because
No,
LeBron James
no, that was in game three. Is no, he's what he said in game three. He got into it
no,
with
no, I know,
LeBron
I
on the
don't know,
court
I'm
in game three.
no. What he got into it with him, it was in Game 2, and in Game 3, Dwayne Wade came back and took over Game 3, and he scored 30 something points. I think 36 points in Game 3. And in that press conference after Game 3, they mentioned the idea of what happened in the Game 2, and he said, LeBron and I got into it because I know how to win this. Like you said, he said, I know what it takes to win this. I'm going to lead my team to the championship. Again, Dwayne Wade didn't say that because Dwayne Wade wanted to say that. Dwayne Wade said that because the Heat game plan was that. He had the coaching staff and the Heat
Yeah, it was the
organization
game
behind
plan.
him.
But
That was
Dwayne
the
Wade and
game plan.
LeBron got into it on the court in game three. LeBron and Dwayne Wade got into it on the court in game three.
No, because they were playing good in Game 3. The one that they got into it
No,
was a
no,
no. You
it was
sure?
in game three. I'm 100%
Okay.
positive. It was in
Okay.
game
Okay.
three when they got into it.
Okay.
And after that game, that's when Dwayne Wade said that he knew how to beat this team.
Go
To the
ahead, Dave.
people,
So that was so right there in game four, we know what happened in game four.
so
That's
look,
all they talk about. What happened in game four?
to the people in the chat, just listen up real quick. We are talking about a guy who I think is number 2. I have no issues with LeBron James. I just don't think he's better than Jordan, which is our pure fact. But we're talking about a guy where these guys are saying that he's the GOAT, the greatest of all
He was
time.
not the greatest at age 26.
Let
Let's
my
point
guy
that out.
finish.
Hey,
Hold
Tiffany,
on,
can I
No,
finish?
no
Got to go to age
disrespect.
My
26.
bad,
Let him
D. Lee.
finish.
Can I
hold on.
finish?
Yeah.
So look, greatest of all time. So when you look at everything, you know these guys always like to say stuff like, "Oh, look, Jordan never won without Scottie Pippen," all that stuff. If we get to that topic, we would slander that topic, but we're not going to talk about that.
No, you won't. No, you won't. I
Hold
guarantee
on,
you
let him
won't.
finish. Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish.
But we talking about a guy who was I don't care how old he was. He was a 2-time MVP, and it was what his 9th year in the NBA, 9th year in the NBA, or 8th, probably his 8th in the
It was 8
NBA.
years. He won a
Nobody
championship.
saying LeBron was not the best player in the NBA. No one's saying LeBron's not the best player in the NBA.
So 8th
Let
year
him finish.
in the
Let him
NBA,
finish, Brandon.
2-time
Yeah.
MVP who teamed up with a top 3 player in the NBA. You lead your team in scoring the whole season. You lead your team in scoring the whole playoffs. And you get to the finals, and then you take a back seat because he's saying because of Dwayne Wade said that I'm going to take over it, you take a back seat, LeBron? No. When it's your moment, you have to step up and succeed in that moment. And LeBron didn't do that. And the fact that y'all not acknowledging that is telling me that, like, no matter what we say today, you guys are stuck to the point that LeBron's the GOAT, because LeBron definitely under. If you don't think LeBron underachieved in that series, I don't know what you were watching that series. Just watch the tape, forget the numbers. Just look at how his mannerism, how he act in the series. He wasn't aggressive at all in the second half of that series. And the fact that, and he even said himself, his mentality wasn't there. He had to switch his mentality the next year to get to a different person. So he definitely underachieved in that series, and everybody in the chat knows that.
It happens. So let me throw it. Remember when Kobe Bryant did not shoot for a whole half
Yes.
in a playoff game? Does
And why?
that take away anything Kobe Bryant done in his career?
Yes, it does.
No
I
one
hold that
ever
against
brings that
Kobe.
up.
You thought
That
we were
does
going to say
not
no?
take
Yes, it
anything
does.
away
Kobe
from
was
you.
up
Kobe
3-1
Bryant is
in that
still
series.
great. Kobe Bryant
Yes,
is
it
still
does.
great. No
Yes,
matter
he's
what.
still
No one
great.
He's
even
still
brings
great.
that
He's
up.
just not the GOAT.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Brandon. But wait. If that's the case, gentlemen, because this is what you guys love to do,
Go ahead.
because you swear Jordan never had that moment. 1989, Game 5. Jordan took 8 shots, was very passive, very non-aggressive, and his team lost due to it. So, if you are going to hold Kobe and LeBron to a standard, you need to do it to your boy, because when he was supposed to be the GOAT and winning championships, and they were calling him the GOAT then, and LeBron wasn't called the GOAT in 2011, your boy was choking 3 straight years in a row versus the same team, same defense.
So hold on, Ajani.
Joe,
Let's get into that. Hold on. Let's move on to that.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Davey, close this out because we're gonna definitely talk about what Ajani just said about, because I think that there's a lot of Jordan fans that don't talk about Jordan's losing prior to winning all the 6 rings. So we're gonna get to another topic, but close this out with this, Davey. Go ahead.
Joe, question. What year was Jordan in 1988? 1989?
He's joining 84. It was his 5th year.
Okay,
probably fifth, yeah.
so his 5th year, we're judging him off of something when LeBron was in his 8th year. Is that really the same? Are we really doing that right now?
No. But what's the
That don't
difference?
make any
Wait.
sense.
That don't make no
That don't make any
sense.
sense.
That don't make no sense. You guys keep using your expectations
Go
on
ahead.
players. Dude, no matter what you say, Jordan in his fifth. Wait, Jordan in his 5th NBA season. Jordan was called the GOAT in 1989. Jordan's 5th NBA season is not he's not supposed to win. When Magic won in his 1st year, when Bird won in his 2nd year, when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won in his 2nd year, when Bill Russell won in his 1st year, all of these guys who were in the GOAT debate prior to Michael Jordan all won championships before 5 years. So don't use that excuse for Jordan, because Jordan was losing. He was losing so bad, they were putting it on Sports Illustrated covers to describe to you how bad Jordan was underperforming when it was time for his team to win. These are the facts.
So in 1989, what game are you talking about?
I said 1989 second round versus the Detroit Pistons, where he played in a game 5 where he only took up 8 shots in the entire game. In fact, he didn't even take a shot for the last 10 minutes of the 4th quarter and was completely passive. I think he took 2 shots the whole second half. And he had like 8. He had like 8. Wait. No. He had 18 points in that game after giving them a dud the game before. And the reason he did it in game 5 was because in game 4 he gave them a dud with 23 points. And the media was eating Jordan alive, and he blamed his teammates and said that they didn't help him because he had a sore hamstring. And then he blamed them. Then he said, if that's the case, you guys really think my team could win without me, I'm going to just pass the ball the next game. And he literally cost his team the series. It was a crucial game 5. The Bulls were tied 2-2 versus the Detroit Pistons, and Michael Jordan had a temper tantrum in the middle of the playoffs. But because you probably weren't even born yet, you know nothing of this.
I watch every playoff.
You don't have
1989
playoffs. You don't have 1989 playoffs. You don't have the 1989 playoffs. These are lies that you Zesty Jeffries say. These are lies. You did not see 1989 playoffs. Stop it.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Johnny, because we have to move on.
Go ahead.
We have to move on. So, Johnny, just please recap that again, because we always talk about LeBron James' failure. So, can you just quickly go over Michael Jordan's failure and try to see, where do people stand with this? Because, like I said, we always talk about the 6-0, and compared to LeBron James 6-4. But talk about Michael Jordan's failures that technically should be holding him back.
Yeah, Michael Jordan had countless failures. LeBron James never been to AFC 2 years in a row. That happened with Jordan. LeBron James doesn't have 5 losing seasons on his resume. That happened with Jordan. In fact, no one in the GOAT debate has 5 losing seasons on their resume besides Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan in 1988 lost to a team. He lost to a team that had no All-NBA player, no All-Defensive player on their roster. That never happened to LeBron James. LeBron James never lost to a team like that. Jordan was not only the league MVP, he was All-NBA first team, All-Defensive first team. He was the scoring champ. He was the steals champ, the fake steals champ. He was Defensive Player of the Year, the fake Defensive Player of the Year. He was also the All-Star starter and MVP of the All-Star game. So the hype for Jordan and the Bulls, who had won 50 games that year, the Bulls hadn't won 50 games in almost a decade, if I'm correct. I think the last time they won it was like 79 or 80, something like that. The Bulls were on a rise. Michael Jordan gave the Bulls 3 straight dud games to lose that series 4-1 to a team with no All-NBA player, with no All-Defensive player on their roster, with 1 All-Star, and only 1 20-point per game scorer. Jordan completely choked against that team. That's fine. That's Jordan in his 4th year. Like these guys say, we can't expect Jordan to do anything in his 4th year. Well, let's go to next year, where they gave Jordan the reins to the team. He lost more games the next year when they gave him the ball and said, here, do what you got to do. He blows up in the first 2 rounds. He goes up against the Detroit Pistons again and does the same nonsense, where he goes up 2-1 versus Detroit Pistons, and then in the game 4, he gives them a dud, and then in game 5, he does the temper tantrum, and then in game 6, he takes 26 shots to score 32 points, and mind you, he don't do nothing in the 4th quarter, and Isaiah Thomas goes off for 17 points and dominates the game. Then we say, okay, you know what? Let's give Jordan another year. This is his time. This is his chance. A game 7. All he has to do is win this game here. His NBA Finals shot is there. The thing that they think that all Jordan has to do is just get to the finals, and he's going to win it. Game 7 versus Detroit Pistons. What did he do? He coughed that up as well. They lost by 20 because he never knew how to get his teammates involved, and Scottie Pippen was not healthy that game, so the team did not play well, and Michael Jordan sat there and scored 31 points on 27 shots, while the Bulls lost by 20 points. So that's 3 straight years in a row that Michael Jordan coughed up his team a chance to win the NBA title because he was not good enough to do such. But he's going to get a pass because we're going to hear all the excuses, and we're going to hear about how great the Detroit Pistons were, when in reality, the Detroit Pistons was not as good as the Dallas Mavericks, nor were they good as the San Antonio Spurs of 07 or the Warriors of 2015, the teams that these guys love to mention that LeBron had to face. Not to mention, LeBron had to go up against zone defenses. Jordan didn't. It was one-on-one. Joe Dumars is 6'1". Don't tell me about Joe Dumars' defense. But those are the years that Jordan, hand checking is not stopping nobody. That's not going to do anything.
Hold on, 1 second, don't worry.
All those highlights of Michael Jordan in Detroit, I don't see not one hand checking footage of Michael Jordan being pushed away and he can't get to his spots. Michael Jordan just was not good enough to beat the Detroit Pistons because he didn't know how to play team basketball. That was their game plan. They told you that. They said that we knew exactly how to beat the Bulls because we never had to worry about Jordan passing, because Jordan was reluctant to pass. So we made Jordan take all those bad shots like he was normally going to take, and he lost that series. And everybody's going to blame Scottie Pippen and everybody else. And like I always told y'all, if Scottie Pippen's the reason why the Bulls lose, he's the reason why the Bulls win. So be careful when you mention Scottie Pippen in this conversation.
Dave, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Look, I'm not one of those people that say that Jordan has never failed. We know Jordan did not get past the first round and multiple series in the first part of his career. We understand that. We only talk about what happens after he gets over that hump, and that's the thing. That's what counts. What counts is what happens afterwards. Now, when it comes to Jordan losing, I mean, look, he lost to some of the best teams, and if you look at the teams he lost to, all the teams he lost to went on to win championships. Did they not? When he lost to the Celtics, they had Hall of Famers on their team. How many Hall of Famers? There was about 5. You had Bird, you had McHale, these are the guys he was going about. And those guys who went up against him were the ones that started calling him the best player in the league because they know what they saw in front of him. He just didn't have a good team around him enough to be able to win. Now, when he went up against the bad boy Pistons, they had Jordan rules. They did whatever they could to make sure Jordan was not allowed to get into the paint because they know that Jordan was the best paint finisher in the game. He was one of the best mid-range shooters. So they made sure whenever he got in the air, they got him down. So that's how that happened. But we don't say that, we don't give Jordan excuses for losing those series. He lost, plain and simple. He just lost.
Go ahead, B. Lee, and then we're gonna close with Joe. Go ahead, B. Lee.
It's pretty comical every time we bring up Jordan not winning or losing. We count it. Yeah, we just look at what he did when he got to the top. But all you guys do is talk about when LeBron fell before he start winning. Like I mean, that's just how it goes. Like if LeBron James plays someone in the playoff multiple times and he never won a game versus them, we would not. They will bring that up every time his name is mentioned. If LeBron James plays someone in the playoffs 3 straight times in a row and couldn't beat them, they will bring that up every chance that they get. But when Jordan do it, it's different. When Jordan do it, it's different. Like they even talking about Jokic right now when LeBron is in year 22 beating. Like this is how great LeBron James is that they have to say that he can't get past Jokic, which he already did. He already beat Jokic in the playoffs. So it's
in
it's
the
it's
bubble.
documented. It happened. He beat him in the playoffs. But this thing with Jordan is just this media thing that is bizarre. Even when he came back for those 17 games, they gave him MVP votes. They gave him all NBA votes. It is literally ridiculous how we how you guys fantasize about Michael Jordan. And then when LeBron James lose in 2011, we just can't say, okay, he lost. But when Jordan lose 5 straight years to 2 players, well, he had to get over the hump. Like we realized he lost, and that's that. But 2011 is the worst thing possible. And if you're supposed to be the GOAT, you cannot lose. But when Michael Jordan's supposed to be the GOAT, he can lose until he don't lose. He won 6 straight, even though he didn't win 6 straight. He won 6 in a row, even though he lost in between. He won 6, even though he played 15 years. He never lost. Like it's fine to say Michael Jordan is great. Michael Jordan was a great winner, but it's not okay to say that about LeBron, even though he is a great winner. He is one of the greatest winners we have ever seen. It's documented. It's facts. He's one of the greatest winners we ever seen. There's nothing that we could say about LeBron not being a great winner other than you say, well, he lost 6 times in the finals. Like that's better to lose earlier because it's LeBron James. Simple as that.
No.
Can
Go ahead,
I
Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
So look, y'all acting like I'm sitting up here saying Jordan is perfect. Jordan ain't perfect. Yeah, Jordan lost. The question was given to me, and the first topic was, did LeBron underachieve? And yes, he underachieved. And y'all said he didn't. The fact that y'all think he didn't underachieve is blasphemy to me. Now, did Jordan
He
fail?
did.
Hold on, let him finish.
Now, did Jordan fail? Yes. He didn't win his first title until 1991. He joined in 1984. So he failed every single year. He didn't win a championship. In 1991, that's when he won his first championship. Yes, he failed. But what I asked my man Ajani, I said, my problem with LeBron James in 2011 is that how he went out. That's my problem. I'm not mad at LeBron losing. When he lost in 2015 to the Warriors without Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, do I kill LeBron for losing to the Warriors? No, because you saw how he went out. He went crazy. He went out like a thug. He went out being aggressive. He can go. I remember Kyrie Irving lost to the Boston Celtics. Sorry, lost to the Giannis Bucks, and he shot horrible. But he took like 20 plus shots a game. Go out swinging. But when you shy away from the ball, when you're not yourself, that's when I'm like, yo, what's going on? It's going to fall in, especially when it's in the biggest stage as the NBA Finals when you already a 2-time MVP. Now, Michael Jordan.
May I ask a question when I get a chance?
Go ahead. Is it for me?
Yeah, it's going to be to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so are you going to accept that Jordan did that for 3 years in a row? Yes or no?
What lose to the Pistons?
The same exact thing that you said LeBron James did in 2011.
Go ahead.
Jordan did that 3 years in a row. He wasn't himself. He was non-aggressive. He was not performing the way he's normally expected to perform. In fact, he was not doing exactly what the game plan was intended for him to do those 3 straight years. So are you also going to hold Jordan to the same standards you're holding to LeBron James in 2011's bad performance in a loss?
Jordan wasn't aggressive in those 3 years in a row?
No, he was not.
Do you want me to read it? Okay, hold on, here we go.
No,
So
no,
look.
don't read that. Don't read that. Don't read
So
that
look.
because
Well,
let me
no,
ask you.
let him
Oh
read
wait,
it. Hold on, hold
oh,
on.
oh, wait, oh no, no, no. Oh wait,
Why not?
don't, no. Okay, you know what? Go ahead and read that. Fine, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
let
ahead.
him read it. Let
Okay.
him read it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I hope I get to respond to it. Go ahead.
Jordan took over 20 shots in almost every single game except for that one game you talked about when he only took 8 shots. And he took 15 shots in another game. My whole point is this. I asked you this question in the first topic.
Wait. What game do you talk about more than Game 4? LeBron James. What game? What? When LeBron didn't shoot or didn't do nothing besides Game 4?
Bro, since they went down 2-1, LeBron James has disappeared.
Jordan was up 2-1. Jordan was up 2-1 and disappeared 2 straight games in a row. Game 4 and Game 5.
Oh my
You
God.
said 3 years straight. Just let my guy.
Yes, no. I said he choked 3 years straight. He brought up the series in '89 where Jordan took 20 shots per game because he wanted to read off Jordan's stats. Jordan underperformed Game 4 and in Game 5.
2 games. Jordan scored 32, 27, 46.
Okay.
23, 18, and 32. Jordan was the best player on his team. You name another person on that team that outplayed Michael Jordan. But I could point to Dwayne Wade. I could point to the other side. I could point to the other side.
It's not a one-on-one thing. It's not a one-on-one thing. Isaiah Thomas beat him again.
Bro,
okay, all right. Wait, you want to read off numbers? I'll give you some numbers.
Go ahead.
Michael Jordan played in 9 playoff series between 1987 and 1990. And those 9 playoff series, there was 3 of them he did not play the Detroit Pistons. And those 6 playoff series Michael Jordan had in between 1987 and 1990 that were not the Detroit Pistons, Michael Jordan was averaging over 40 points per game, shooting over 50% from the field during those playoff series. Just to when he faces the Detroit Pistons, he goes down to only 30 points per game. He shoots under 50% from the field. His assists go down. His turnovers go up. His blocks go down. His steals go down. Every aspect of Jordan's game legitimately drops. He was the Jordan that y'all keep saying never choke, never fail, which was what Jordan averages is over 33 points per game in the playoffs. He was not doing that against Detroit. The same way you want to hold LeBron James accountable because he didn't average 26. Well, Jordan's supposed to average 35, 40 points per game like he was doing every other playoff series. To go down to 27 points is just as bad as LeBron James going from 25 points to 18 points. That's what you're holding. That's what you're holding LeBron James accountable to the idea that he's supposed to score 26 points because that is his normal average, his normal output. You're not holding Jordan to the same standard. The Bulls do the Bulls win when Michael Jordan scores less than 30 points per game? No. Unless you want to bring up 1996 when he had the super team, when he had the 2 all NBA, the 2 all defensive first team players and the all NBA first team player plus the 6th man of the year. Yeah, that Jordan could have easily got past the Detroit Pistons because, like you said, Jordan needs a team to win. The Bulls don't win. The Bulls don't. So then why are you holding LeBron? The Heat were not a good team. Dwayne Wade's 26 points is not enough. Even if LeBron James averaged 26 with Dwayne Wade, they still don't have enough to beat the Mavericks.
Come on, dog. Are you serious about that statement?
Yes, because you're not serious about Jordan needing to average 35 to beat Detroit. And you don't want to accept that.
You are comparing Michael Jordan going against the Detroit Pistons, who's literally game plan to whoop on this dude, and you acting like he shied away from the moment. Hold on, let me finish. Did Michael Jordan, every time he played the Pistons, did he shy away from the moment? Or
yes!
Did they do a good job against Jordan?
No, he shied away from the moment. Jordan, that's why y'all don't know history. He shied away from the moment. Yes.
You don't know basic
Jordan. Listen,
if you think
it was so bad.
Hold on. I didn't even finish. The fact that you are comparing Michael Jordan's series against the Detroit Pistons, saying he shot away from the moment, versus LeBron James, who stood at the 3-point line, who got outscored by Jason Terry when he was the leading scorer on his team, second in the MVP vote that year, by the way. Nobody remember that. It was Derrick Rose and it was LeBron James. He should have won MVP that year.
Let him finish.
At this point, LeBron James was the prohibited favorite, by the way, to win the series. And you telling me that you want to compare that to what
Yes.
Jordan did against the Detroit Pistons?
Yes, the 1988 Detroit Pistons. Okay,
This
first of
man-
all, wait.
this
Tell
man
me,
right here.
Tell me what does Jason Terry averaging 0.2 points more than LeBron James, which is basically 6 points scored more than LeBron James, has to do with LeBron James and the Heat? And tell me why you are not holding Jordan to the same standard versus the 1988 Pistons, who was not that dude. They were not that team. Jordan was the league MVP. Jordan was the All NBA. Was LeBron the league MVP in 2011? No. Was LeBron James the?
He was
Was LeBron? No, he wasn't the MVP. Jordan was the MVP. Was LeBron James the scoring champ in 2011? No, Jordan was. Matter of fact, did the Detroit Pistons win a championship? Because Dave brought this up. The teams that Jordan lost to won championships. Did Detroit Pistons win a championship in 1988? No. So all of these things that you're holding LeBron James to in 2011 also applies to the actual 1988 season where Jordan legitimately choked 3 straight games in a row.
Oh my
And
God.
3 straight games in a row. They lost 3 straight and got outplayed by Isaiah Thomas and Adrian Dantley. But you're gonna say, oh, that's Adrian Dantley, and Adrian Dantley don't average more points than Jason Terry do. Jason Terry is basically should be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history. Why are we discrediting the Dallas Mavericks, who have Hall of Famers, who had a great roster, who had a great team, who also swept the defending champions that same season, who has one of the greatest power forwards of all time in Dirk Nowitzki, but you guys don't want to bring up Isaiah Thomas, who never won an MVP, who never would. You're really going to compare Isaiah Thomas to Dirk Nowitzki? Is that what we're doing?
Is Isaiah Thomas not considered one of the best point guards in history?
Who beat Larry Bird, who beat Magic also. And by the way, he making a big deal of Jordan taking 8 shots when LeBron had 8 points in that same series. That's my thing. You want to hold Jordan to this high caliber thing.
I didn't hold that. No, because he's lying. I didn't say that. You guys are the ones who keep bringing up failures and act like because you don't act like Jordan didn't fail. You act like that's not a failure. That is a failure. No. That is the same failure as LeBron. You're not holding him to the same standards you're holding.
They would not accept Jordan.
Exactly, but but they get mad at us. They would say that we can't. But we can't say LeBron didn't underachieve or LeBron didn't fail in 2011. But they want us to accept that they can't accept that. That's what I'm saying. It's a double standard. It's a double standard.
LeBron James did play well for 2 games, for 2 damn games in the whole playoffs. And
Jordan failed so bad. Jordan failed so bad they changed league rules. That's how bad Jordan failed. They changed the rules in the NBA. That's how bad Jordan was failing. Come on, man.
That they made up lies. They made up lies saying Detroit Pistons was the first team to have a defensive strategy in the NBA. They had to write books about it. They had to write books about it.
As if Dallas didn't have a strategy.
Actually played defense. There's no, throughout history, all they did was jump ball and ran up and down the court.
They had to
actually play defense, and they had to write books about it.
We'll let them get the last word. But again, y'all, remember, we're supposed to have the GOAT conversation. We're spending a whole hour talking about failures, not greatness. Because at the end of the day, Jordan is not great enough. So they have to pretend Jordan didn't fail so that we can have this kind of a GOAT debate. Go ahead, gentlemen. No. Fail like LeBron. He has to fail like LeBron. You have to attach that like you do it to LeBron. He underachieved. He underperformed. He was not aggressive. He completely failed his team. It was Jordan's fault.
He got blown out in Game 7. Come on now, blown out in Game 7.
So how about LeBron James losing in the NBA Finals in the largest margin of victory in NBA history? Well, let's go next though. Let's go next. So he got blown out. Y'all got blown out for the whole series.
So hold on. So B-Lee, there's a lot of people that want to call LeBron LeGM, and there's definitely signs of it. Carmelo Anthony, he just came out on his podcast the other day and said that he took J.R. Smith, he took Iman Shumpert, and he blames LeBron for that. He was very upset at LeBron James for that. I know a lot of people will say, that the big 3 in Miami just came out of nowhere. Obviously, that was also planned. Same thing with AD. And then also, too, I have this report right here. It was, hold on, because I lost it. But I think it was one of his coaches was saying that, I think Davey sent it to me the other day, but one of his coaches said that he called him and saying, "Hey, we need you to come
Ty
coach."
Lue, Ty
Yeah,
Lue, that you
Ty
talking
Lue,
about.
Ty Lue.
Ty Lue was when the Cavaliers were supposed to be talking about giving him a contract, and he said, I don't want you to don't talk to them. I want them to be able to respect me. I don't want you to put in any word for me.
So a lot of people will say, oh well, LeBron James, he's just a player. But then you also saw when D Rose and when D Wade and Jay Crowder, when they went to go join the Cavs, right when the trade deadline came, the whole team was pretty much shifted. We've seen different iterations of multiple players get shifted on the roster that LeBron James.
Lakers, one of them.
So how do you feel about people calling LeBron James lead GM, and especially when it comes maybe even to Bronny James? Do you think that he had a very big hand in all these different things when it comes to the roster? Is it just the team, or do you think it's like really him pushing all the buttons when it comes to coaching, players, and trades and assets?
I mean, for one, every elite superstar is going to have input in what players available, anything. Is if you're elite, you're going to have that. Michael Jordan wanted players as well. He wanted players as well. They just didn't do it half the time. Yes, of course, LeBron's going to say, "Well, I've been hooping with this such and such all summer. We should sign him." And it's up to the GM. And if LeBron is making those moves, he's probably the greatest GM of all time, if that's the case. So if we want to give him that title, he's the greatest GM of all time. I mean, what GM have you seen who actually plays on the court and win titles? Make all the coaches changes, makes trades, wipes out teams to bring other players in to make finals. Like we want to, let's give the GMs credit. If LeBron was literally the GM, I don't think the Lakers would be this bad because from apparently history, when he was the de facto GM, they was always in the finals. So I don't like it's they try to use everything they can to discredit LeBron James. Who the hell cares if LeBron James want a certain player on his team? If they could get him, they could get him. He wanted Dame Lillard to be on the Lakers. Guess what? They didn't get him. So what about Russell Westbrook? They got him. LeBron didn't sign the contract for him. But then again, that's what LeBron James is supposed to do. That's what Kevin Durant did. That's how Dennis Rodman got on the Bulls. Like this is what elite players do. This is what elite players do. Like if they're not happy, they would demand a trade. Magic Johnson demanded a trade. Kobe Bryant demanded. Like players demand trades. Jordan said he's not even coming back if you don't bring back Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson. At least LeBron James finish out his contracts and helps the GM sign players. Great. LeBron, that's another reason why LeBron James is great. All I hear is greatness.
Yeah, go ahead, Davey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never really said that I had an issue with LeBron James being able to get players. That's never been an issue for me. If he's that great, you're supposed to allow your best player to be able to tell you who he wants on his team, because he knows what he's capable of. He knows how he plays. He knows what he needs around him. And we all know what LeBron needs around him. He needs shooters around him. So every time he's went to the finals, if you look at his teams, all his teams have been able to shoot because he got players around him that can help him be able to also be able to facilitate and get those guys open. That's what your best player is supposed to do. Now, like you said, Jordan's GM did not do that. He went and did his own thing. And honestly, Jordan was not a good GM. We saw that when he was an owner of an NBA team. We see how that's happened. He's not good as a GM at all. Let's just point that out there. Jordan's probably the worst GM owner ever. It doesn't work out for him. He drafted Kwame Brown. That's just you could just talk about that. But I think the only issue I have with LeBron being GM is when people say that he had absolutely nothing to do with Bronny being drafted.
So hold on right there. How do you feel about Bronny? I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the NBA. All I'm saying is that if you're telling me from high school till now, you're telling me that he should have definitely have been drafted. I don't know about all that. In terms of he wasn't that good in college. I mean, like he wasn't that good in high school. College, I think he should have stayed another year only because of the whole heart situation. And I just think that when you have LeBron James come out and say that, Bronny's better than half the NBA, pretty much dissing his players, I think you set him up for failure when you do that. Yes, he had the big 30-point game. I'm not saying that he doesn't have potential. I'm just saying is that it's like Lonzo Ball. bro, LeVar Ball set all his sons up for failure. Oh, he's better than Michael Jordan. He's better than Kobe. And if you don't live up to that, if you're playing with that pressure, especially coming off of a terrible high school career, which it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be good in the NBA, but I just think that he was setting up his son for failure. So do you think that is LeGM with his, bringing his son into the NBA? Do you think he should be just in this league? Do you think he should be drafted? What is your, opinion on that? And then we will go to Joe.
So I personally don't believe he should have been drafted, but I'm not mad that he got drafted. Let me just say that. I think that if you look at this, like I said last time we talked about this, the sentimental part of it, I totally understand, because that's your son. You're supposed to be able to allow that to happen. Any grown man, any parent, if you're able to get your child into something that you love and you think that they love it too, you will be grateful to be able to do that. So I'm not taking that away from LeBron whatsoever. I'm just strictly talking about what LeBron James Jr. did in college and in high school. In high school, he was a really good player. He was McDonald's All-American, so he belonged in college. My thing was, because of his heart situation, because he wasn't able to show his game enough, he should have either stayed in another year or possibly just gone straight to the G League. That's just my thing. That spot could have been saved for someone else. And yeah, it's not too many players that come at drafted at 55 that come out and actually do something awesome. And that's not and that's the thing, is people were saying that Bronny was going to come in and basically like destroy the league. Now he just had a 30-point game in the G League, which is awesome, which shows that his game is improving. So that's what we want to see. We want to see him be able to improve his game. But to say that LeBron had absolutely nothing to do with him being drafted to the Lakers, I just think that's not true.
Hey, can I address one thing that Martell said, that Bronny James was not a good high school player? That's not
No,
true.
no,
He
no.
was a McDonald All-American. He was top 20. Yeah, he's a top 20 player. He's a 5-star recruit and top 5 point guard in the country. So he was considered one of the top 10 to 15 picks if he would have came out of high school. He would have been a first round pick.
So
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
LeBron being a GM, I have no issues with that. And look, in this world, people feel like if you think that LeBron's a GOAT, you gotta hate the other GOAT. If you think LeBron's not the GOAT, you gotta hate LeBron. That's how people be acting as well. So they find all the little things to criticize. I have no issues with LeBron James being a GM if he was a GM. I have no issues with it. So if he wants to make his team better, go make his team better. Jordan trying to do that. Like he said, he asked to go. They asked Jordan about Dennis Rodman, and he approved it. But Jordan tried to keep all his guys. It was like, nah, bro, we got to move on. So I'm cool with LeBron being a GM and Bronny being drafted. Now, do I think that if LeBron James was never in the league and Bronny would have got drafted to the Lakers when he got drafted? Nah, I don't think he would have. But am I mad at LeBron for pulling his strings to get Bronny over there? No. LeBron James earned the right to do that. He did. He brought the Lakers a championship, right? He keeping the Lakers relevant, and he box office. He brings numbers to the Lakers. He continued to bring those numbers to the Lakers. So they're gonna do whatever LeBron wants them to do, and I'm okay with it. And I think LeBron did the right thing. I don't think he should have stayed another year. Why? Sign a 4-year deal, get paid your millions, go break history. You did, right? You made history. Send him to the G League. Let him develop in the G League versus developing in college. And plus, LeBron will give him all the resources for him to continue to develop. And if he's going to be a good player, I think LeBron's going to doing the right thing. I ain't mad at all.
Johnny?
Yeah, since all these gentlemen agree with each other, and I agree with them that LeBron isn't a GM, and it really doesn't matter. We got to ask ourselves, why is it brought up in the GOAT debate? Because it's obvious. More lies about Michael Jordan's career. That Michael Jordan, he just had to go out there with whatever was given to him. He just went out there and toughed it out and won championships with whatever they gave him. Bunch of nonsense. There's a reason why Jerry Krause and Michael Jordan didn't get along. It's because Michael Jordan made countless requests for players, different things. In fact, Michael Jordan tried his hardest to get Jerry Krause fired for those same reasons, because Michael Jordan is a horrible GM. And we all know this, as we all already explained it. So at the end of the day, this idea that LeBron James is a GM only makes him great, on top of the fact that he's the greatest player to ever play the game. Now you're going to make him one of the greatest GMs to ever play the game because, from my understanding, LeBron James is the only one with super teams. Only one with a super team outside of him is Golden State Warriors. So LeBron James basically invented something new in basketball as a GM. He did everything. He's as a player, GM, all of that. He's just the greatest thing we've ever seen. And then if we want to say LeBron James had anything to do with Bronny James being drafted, the only thing he has to do with that was giving his son his genetics, which is obviously superior to Michael Jordan's genetics. We know Michael Jordan's son needs that booger sugar to do anything correct in life. That's the first thing he wakes up in the morning to. That's the only way he can even function. So at the end of the day, he don't got the genetics to even live a normal life, let alone be Bronny James. So shout out to Bronny James and the James family because he doesn't need the silly $9 million the Lakers gave him because he's LeBron James's son. That's probably his fucking allowance. Y'all got to stop with this. The kid wants to play basketball. He was good enough to play basketball. The NBA saw talent in him, and that's what they do. They draft you by your talent and your potential, which Bronny James has a lot of. And let's not hope that Bronny James comes out to be what his dad thinks he is, because he's the only person that was around here talking about Bronny James is going to dominate and be anything in the NBA. Because if that's the case, that's just more weapons for GOAT James Kingdom. Y'all don't want us to have Bronny James as an all-star. Y'all love all-stars. Wait till Bronny James become one.
So we are at the 1 hour mark, and I want to be respectful, of everybody's time. So once we get to these closing statements, we're going to start with Dave. Just your overall topics on the whole GOAT debate, and so we can finally close this out and possibly move on to other debates in the future. Where do you stand with LeBron James? Because also too, I know that we got into this before. Where do you guys just quickly stand with Kobe Bryant? Before, I think it was Johnny that said that he doesn't even have the resume to even be anywhere near that debate. So how do you feel about Kobe Bryant, Dave?
I mean, whether he has the resume to be a part of the conversation or not, I don't think he's better than Jordan or LeBron. That's just my opinion. I think if you're talking about the GOAT debate, it's only between those two. And I have Jordan as the GOAT. LeBron is second to me all time. Because his accomplishments, his greatness, his peak, his prime, LeBron has proven a lot in this league. So has Jordan. But as far as anything else, man, I just want to say thank you to Ajani and B. Lee for a respectful debate that we had today. It was definitely a great debate that we had today. Definitely open to more debates that we have on the show. Martell, you got my line, man. Whenever they hit me up to have me come on the show, I'm always open to it. Thank you for allowing me and my guy Joe to come on again. Because we pushing to get the 5,000 subscribers ourselves. So we definitely appreciate you. And we see that you're getting close, Martell. So keep pushing, my guy. You got it. But yeah, man, just definitely a great show today. Definitely glad I was able to come on. And hopefully y'all understand that Jordan's the GOAT. And Martell, I think you should put up a poll of who everyone thinks won this debate too.
I got you. Go ahead, Johnny. Closing statements.
Yeah. First off, thank you two gentlemen as well. Y'all make sure to subscribe to both channels, Refuse to Lose Sports and the GOAT James Kingdom platform. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday noon Eastern time. Plus, if you want to holla at your boy Ajani, I'm available Friday nights. Most of you gentlemen ain't got nothing better to do, so come watch us on a Friday night exposure. But, to end the conversation with this, man, at the end of the day, the real conversation about the GOAT debate is who's the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. And we only can determine that by stats, accolades, and achievements, not by players' expectations, not by anybody else's expectations of what they think a player should or should not be doing in any particular moment or situation. So when we look at their career, their overall career, nobody accomplished more than LeBron James. And at the end of the day, when you try to nitpick and say this player didn't do this player didn't do that, Jordan does not have none of the resume to be the GOAT. The only reason Jordan is the GOAT is because he came in a time where people got a chance to watch basketball more than ever. He is the reason why we have casuals talking basketball, why we have casuals watching basketball. They can't appreciate greatness to a certain degree. Good thing these two gentlemen agree that they're not Michael Jordan fans, so I can call out Michael Jordan fans without disrespecting them. Jordan fans are just the worst. They keep lying about Michael Jordan's career. They keep telling us lies about his career. Jordan's the worst GM. He's the worst leader. He's not even a great mid-range shooter. They just like to bring up stuff because they never saw Jordan play. So if you never saw him play, all you can do is make things up, right? It's very easy to do that. You make things up, and then now we got to argue with things that are made up to try to prove it right or wrong. At the end of the day, nobody's done what LeBron James has done. He's the GOAT of basketball. He will continually show that. And when he returns to the game of basketball, you just better not hope he returns with Stephon Curry. But when he does return, you guys are going to continue to see it like we've seen it for the last 20 years of our life. You've never seen nothing greater than him. He's the greatest player you've ever seen in your life, and he's the greatest player to ever play in any time in NBA history. So that's all I got to say about that.
Joe, and then we'll close with B. Lee.
All right. Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant is actually my favorite player of all time. But Kobe, we talking skill, it's a different argument. But we talking like the greatest. Kobe is not in the GOAT conversation because he only has one MVP. That actually hurts him a lot. That one MVP hurts him. And he has 3 rings when Shaq was the best player, as far as like finals MVP. So I can't put Kobe in the GOAT conversation. But Jordan is the GOAT. Well, first of all, let me say thank you, Martell, for allowing me to come on again. Johnny and B. Lee, appreciate y'all for doing this. My boy Dave, see you when I see you. Keep doing your thing. All right, shout out to R2L. Shout out to Refuse to Lose Network. We appreciate y'all too. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. But while I'm here, who's the GOAT? It's Michael Jordan. Let me say this. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, that is. He's the GOAT. 6 rings, 2 3-peats. Only 4 in NBA history has happened. Jordan has 2 of them. Keep that in mind, y'all. 4 people has done this, sorry. 6 finals MVPs. Most in NBA history. 5 MVPs. Only player to win 5 MVPs and 5 finals MVPs in NBA history. 11 All-NBA. 10 first-team All-NBA. Only player in NBA history to make first-team All-NBA in his first 10 out of 11 first years. Only player. 9 all defensive teams. All of them were first team. That's the most of all time. All right. Which is tied, obviously, with my boy Kobe Bryant and KG, I believe. 10-time scoring champion. 10 straight in his last 10 full seasons as the Chicago Bulls. Nobody has never done nothing like that. He also has a Defensive Player of the Year award, which, LeBron James don't have. Right? He was the first one to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in NBA. He's the first one to do that. And here's the thing, analytics, because your boy mentioned analytics, right? Do y'all know Michael Jordan is first in PER in NBA history? He's also first in plus minus per game. Obviously, we do plus minus total.
He's not first in PER.
Huh?
He's not first in PER. He's not first in PER.
I don't think you heard what I said. First in PER. Who's not first in PER?
He's not first in PER.
Who's first in PER?
Jokic.
Is that new? That just happened?
Like 2 years ago.
You show me that. Somebody put it up. First every day.
Stop listening to Zesty
You
Jeffrey live, Joe.
You got to stay current. You got to stay current with the NBA.
You got to keep up with the NBA. You got to keep current.
He did years ago. Put them up, Dave. I just did this Jordan debate a year ago.
Nah, I know.
Also,
you didn't do with us.
First, plus minus. Can I finish?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Plus minus. Obviously, you do plus minus total. If you play more years, you should have a higher plus minus. So I did per game. Jordan's first in per game. Go ahead and fact check that too. He's also first in win shares per 48 minutes. Fact check that too. All right. And listen, greatest scorer of all time. We all know that. And like I said, go ahead, Dave.
It's Jokic. Jokic PER is 28.23. Jordan's 27.91.
All right, that happened within last year. Because these are my notes from the last Jordan debate I did, which is a year ago. That was not 2 years ago. That had just happened. But anyways, where's LeBron James? Where's LeBron James?
LeBron is third, 26.98.
Jordan's above LeBron?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I want to know. All right, so Jordan has a complete resume. I said this last time, but I kept getting interrupted. Complete resume. Will Chamberlain, he dominated in stats, but did not dominate like Jordan in winning. Because he was a good statistician, but he did not win a lot. Bill Russell, he won a lot, but he did not dominate statistically like Michael Jordan did. Kareem, Duncan, and Kobe weren't always the best players on their team when they won. Jordan was the best player on his team every single time he won. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and LeBron James all were great offensive players, but throughout their whole career, they were not great defensive players. Jordan was one throughout his whole career. He has a complete resume. He's the only person in NBA history has a complete resume, and that's why he is the GOAT. Thank you for having me, Montel.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, B. Lee, close this out.
I don't have enough time to say why LeBron James is the GOAT over everything, so I'm gonna just keep it short because I could go on for an hour explaining what LeBron James is better than everybody in, other than saying that what he done better than Jordan, because he done everything better than everybody. But when we think about Michael Jordan and we think about LeBron James, it's those moments. It's those moments in basketball history that we actually think about. And when we think about those moments with Jordan, we thinking about the Boston when he scored 63 points in a loss. That's what we think about. We think about his first title when Scottie Pippen had to slow down Magic Johnson. We think about that. We thinking about his 6 threes that he made versus the Trailblazers. We thinking about, his 50 points that he scored versus Dan Marley versus the Suns. Like those are things we think about. Plus with the shot versus Brian Russell on the Jazz. So those are the moments that we think about with Michael Jordan. Those are the moments that resonate with everyone. But when we think about LeBron James moments, we only want to think about failures, even though we witness the greatest basketball player of all time. Most of you guys didn't even witness those things that Michael Jordan did. But we was literally watching a game when LeBron James was in high school. When we were thinking about this is probably the greatest athlete we have ever seen. Like, I don't think he could do this in the NBA. And then his most anticipated moment to that when he stepped into the NBA was his first game. And we all know what happened then. He had the greatest debut of all time. He was better than everybody on the court, and he was playing versus a veteran Kings team. And then we look at what he did in his fourth year when he scored those 25 straight points and 29 out of 30 versus the Pistons to lead his team to the finals. Like, we witnessed those things. We witnessed when LeBron James was about to lose versus the Boston Celtics and dismantle the team. We witnessed what LeBron James did in that game. I don't think we have seen another game like that prior or before. He shot almost 80% from the field, scored 45 points, and that team full of all-stars had no answer for LeBron James. And of course, LeBron James closed them out in game 7. And then when we look at the greatest comeback in basketball history when he was down versus the 73 win Golden State, we saw those games. We witnessed those games. He had the greatest performance in playoff series history and the greatest game in playoff history. The guy led every team in all 5 major statistical categories. We witnessed those things. We witnessed this guy just be the greatest thing we have ever seen. The only thing we could do is try to discredit what he's doing. Everyone tuned in to watch him break that record. Everyone tuned in to see if he could score 37 points. He did it in 3 quarters. Everyone was there. Everyone tuned in to watch that game. Like, we have witnessed the greatest player of all time, and all we want to do is try to discredit him because he played bad in 2 games in 2011. When most of you guys haven't even watched anything Michael Jordan did in his life but highlights. We have highlights of Michael Jordan. That's what we have. We have highlights. We have narratives. We have narratives and highlights of Michael Jordan. We actually watch LeBron James do things that we have never seen before. This guy has played every position in the NBA and averaged over 20 points in every position in the NBA. He's the most consistent player we've ever seen, the best all-around player we've ever seen. The things LeBron James is doing cannot be replicated. We can replicate Michael Jordan. There's a new Michael Jordan every damn year. Every 5 years, there's a new Michael Jordan. We have yet to see another LeBron James. Have yet to see another LeBron James. And that's why he's one of one. He's one of one. Like, we haven't found this person yet. We have to go to different sports like Usain Bolt to see, like, who is this freak athlete that we could say LeBron James could be compared by. LeBron James has clearly had the best career of anybody in NBA history, from the amateur to the NBA. I mean, you could argue Karina if you want, but there's no argument with me. We could go back and forth, and hopefully one day we can actually have this debate about LeBron and Michael Jordan, which we didn't have today because all we want to do is talk about failures. 2011, those two games. That's all we want to talk about. LeBron James losing the finals, and apparently it's a badge of honor to get swept in the first round and to never win versus another superstar in the playoff on multiple attempts. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, guys, make sure that you go to their channels. Refuse to Lose, Davies Doghouse, Go James Kingdom. Make sure that you go to their platforms. They have 131 people in the building. Make sure that you guys go to their channels, hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments, who do you guys think won? Also, too, put some topics for the next debate if these guys are all willing to come on. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, and thank you for all the support.